You can't tell me nothing about not near one of these boy bands, not NSYNC, not nobody in NSYNC, not nobody in 98 Degrees, not nobody in O Town, not nobody in Backstreet Boys, because I used to love all of them down. Okay. And I could, like, literally, Justin Timberlake isn't even the best singer in his group. And motherfucking Nick Lachey is a better singer than him. And I don't care what y'all say. Fight me. Okay.
I'm gonna delete this.
All right, my loves, welcome back to our channel. I am Intisar, but you can call me Zar, and this is Joe, but you can call him Mr. Joe. Be polite. And we are back, and we are talking all things Love is Blind. So we're super excited to be back with you guys. Thank you so much for busting down in our comments on our photo and letting us know that you guys had some questions for us, and they have been fantastic questions, like really, really good questions. So Joe and I are going to be filming that very soon, sometime this week actually, and because I'm being a stickler with Joe. But Joe, do you have any announcements that you can make or no?
I'm getting over something that is happening with my nose and throat. So I'm gonna try to conserve my voice as much as I can. But I'm here anyway because
No, you need to
my
talk.
wife doesn't care.
No, I do not
So
care.
we're gonna move forward.
This Intisar Turner over here. Who needs Ike when you got a me in your life? All right. So my thing is we're here, we're talking about Love is Blind, and we're just gonna be just as disorganized as this reunion was, or unorganized as this reunion was.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna give this reunion props because to me, this was by far one of the best reunions I've seen on any reality show in a long time, mainly because it was real and it wasn't so produced. Like Lifetime could never. I mean, could never. The awkward real moment, the awkward silence moments, the free flowing of it, um, the kind
Yeah.
of the open floor that they had, I really appreciated. I appreciated them giving the host the range and the leash to snap if they wanted to, like Nicole did. Is that his wife's name?
I don't think that's her name. It's Nick and
I can't
oh
remember.
child, I don't remember
I
her
can't
name
remember his
either.
wife's name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She
He's
snapped
Nick
on
though.
she snapped on Shake. I just appreciated just the realness of it. You know what I mean? The awkward silence when Shake says
Vanessa.
something dumb or somebody says something dumb. Vanessa. I just appreciated it because it was just real. I just am so tired of seeing these overproduced, these overproduced reunion shows and all of the questions. Nobody has a chance to just kind of take the floor and say what they need to say or whatever. So I thought it was one of the best. Just
Yeah, because it kind of broke the is it the fourth wall? Or
it did a lot.
they kind of broke the fourth, and Shake came in. He came out hot. Like, let's talk about how they was cutting up this or producing it or whatever case may be.
Yeah.
First things
Which is
first.
real because people do feel a certain type of way. We talk about it all the time, at least here we do, about the editing, right? And about how certain things can be gone for a whole season just based off of whatever their storyline is, and they'll edit it that way. And it was good to just hear from a cast member how they felt about that, you know?
I agree. I just don't think Shake in particular has a leg to stand on. And let me say
He
this.
doesn't,
I
but
don't think that Shake is nearly as bad as y'all making him out to be. And I know y'all gonna think, first of all, I do love the villain. He is a Virgo, so he got two things going for him that I like. Okay. You know what I mean? But and he's indicative of Virgo men, like he's manipulative and egotistical and all the things. But I do believe that it's something to a lot of what he was saying. And people was trying to, when he said, I'm keeping it 100, he really kind of was. Like when he's,
But even shake aside, I think Nick and Danielle also alluded to the fact that they thought the editing was a little off because
Yeah.
they said that that wasn't their storyline. They
Yeah.
said when they argued, it was really just once in a while,
Yeah.
but it was edited like every time you saw them, they were arguing.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm kind of, first of all, it was very clear that the people who actually chose to stay married, nobody cared about.
Yeah, because
Everything was about everybody else.
nobody is here for
They did not care.
the harmonious couples. They here for the drama.
Aisha and Jared said two words, and that was it, and that's all.
Aisha is pregnant. You heard it here
She
first.
is not pregnant.
I think, but for me, it's not a. It's a drop. For me, I'm getting ahead of it, and I'm
No,
telling
you're
y'all, I am.
not.
We do this all the time. I'm saying that you heard it here first. Ayana and Jared are pregnant, and that's all. When y'all come back
Oh
in a
my
couple weeks and
god.
y'all say, "Oh, Joe was right," then make her apologize.
But you're gonna have to make me apologize because otherwise I'm gonna spank his butt for even talk. Don't. I don't like when people talk about how women's bodies have
I didn't say anything
changed.
about her body.
You had to say that in order for you. Okay, I'm not
Yeah, that's
semantics.
you.
No,
Yeah,
that's you because this is
no, that's you.
semantics.
All I said was
First of
she
all,
was
y'all, we're
pregnant.
moving on.
It's a
So
happy. It's a glorious moment.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
Shay came out, was coming out hot. Shane and what's her name, Natalie, had their conversation about, them still trying to work on their relationship, how close they had gotten, and how it was a little too fresh. And I don't maybe I shouldn't start with them. No, well, I'm already here. It was a little too fresh, them trying to still be in a relationship. And I want to segue to something else because I think this is a deeper conversation that's going to take a little bit longer. So let's talk about the shit that don't matter. And by shit that don't matter, I mean Shayna. And and she has not been reduced to somebody whose name I won't say because I don't think she's terrible, but I think that she is just not. She was just here, like Shake said, for the lights, the cameras, and the action. And the reality is, Shake also brought up another good thing where he said we can't act like there wasn't pressure to want to be a certain way so you could continue on through the process.
I think he was calling her out,
He was.
basically saying like, in reality, you only said yes to Kyle because you wanted to stay on the show, which she never really admitted to. But I think he was right.
He was right. He was right. But my thing is, how did you feel about everybody being up in arms because he said, well, I don't want to Shake needs his own segment because he
No,
said a
go
lot.
ahead, say it, because we might
Okay,
as well. They was free flowing.
they was free flowing. So Shake said something like he was talking about looks and was talking about he was honest. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I was really ready for Love Is Actually Blind. I was ready for Love Is Blurry.
But and I think that that was just Shake. Okay, so a couple things. I think that that is. I don't even think that's true of Shake. Right? I think Shake came into this thing with a battery in his back because one, he was embarrassed about what happened at the altar,
Yeah.
and he was in defense mode because of the embarrassment. So I think that a lot of what was happening with Shake was him lashing out,
But
which
you don't think it's something to the fact that
I'm gonna get to that. I'm saying first, I think a lot of what he was doing in his antics was him lashing out.
yes.
I also believe that Shake was definitely here for Love Is Blind. I think
Mm.
Shake was definitely a part of the process. I think Shake was very just real and transparent when he said, I'm not attracted to her. But I guarantee and I think we forget because of all of the drama that happened since the wedding day.
Mm-hmm.
But Shake was going to say yes. Shake was absolutely going to say yes at the altar. Somebody got in Deep T's ear and told her about the stuff he had been saying behind her back.
Yeah,
The
everybody
other
on the
thing that
cast was
everybody
telling her that.
the
Yeah.
other thing that we is getting lost in all of this sauce is that Shake was saying these things behind her back. Shake never dogged Deep T out. He never dogged her to her face. He never treated her like a dog. He never was disrespectful to
Mm-hmm.
her. And I think that they got off on this tangent, and even Deeply just leaned into it, like as if he was just dog walking her for 6 weeks. And that's just not true. That's not what we saw. We saw him be a dickhead in certain moments, and we saw him say things that were misogynistic and a little bit shallow.
Mm-hmm.
That's, we all can give that. But he also was going through real things of, I'm not, this is essentially married at first sight, in the sense that I don't know this person, and I didn't necessarily pick this person. So the attraction is not really there, but I'm going to see it through because I see the value in her. He was going to say yes. And in order for you to get around all of that to the point of saying yes,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have enough virtue within your body to see the value in deeply, which I think he did. I think all that's being lost in the antics and all of the everybody taking shots at him. Shake is low hanging fruit because
He
he's
is.
just low hanging fruit.
And the reality is, like, to your point, the idea that all of these people saw this other person and was perfectly fine with how they
It's
look
not
is
real.
also not
It's
real.
not real.
You know what I mean? Like, I do believe that, like, yeah, they picked relatively good looking people or whatever the case may be. But if we are calling it love is blind, the idea that you would have this kind of conflict,
Right. And
right? Because it's blind and now I can see.
and
So,
and so Shake is wrong for what?
I
saying
don't,
saying for saying that he wasn't attracted to her. He, even when he told her, he said it respectfully. And then
but I
do you
think it
remember?
was,
Do you remember when he told her?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
Oh,
told
yeah.
her, and he said it respectfully. We didn't have a problem with how he said that to her. And then he went on to say, I'm gonna see this through, right? So his only issue, if we breaking it down, your only issue with Shake is what? Because he said it to his friends.
100, bro.
I can't
Ain't
I
that what
can't
he
say it
said? He keeping it
if I'm not
100.
attracted initially. I can't tell my friends. I can't tell my mama.
But the real tea, and this is what I don't like, Jared over here telling her not to marry him because he ain't the one for you. When you was sitting up in a bitch face talking about what you would have did for her and all this shit like that. Now, let somebody had gotten back and said that shit about what you did to Ayana, I wonder where the fuck she would be right now.
Yeah,
Let's
everybody
keep it
need to
100.
mind
You
their
really should have
business.
minded your goddamn business.
Everybody.
But y'all so busy trying to make. See, the problem is that, and this is why me and Joe talk about this, and I probably said this on another video, but I'm gonna say it the fuck again. You know what it is for me about the villain is that it is so easy to show up in life as a good person. It is so easy. You just, say nice things, you do nice things, whatever the case may be. Do you know how hard it is to be a motherfucker that people don't like? Because everybody naturally wants affirmation. We want to be loved. That's a natural feeling, right? So if you're one of those people who have really just decided that you're going to show up in a certain way and that might um ostracize you, I see that person. You know what I mean? Because and not if they're being nasty or whatever the case may be, but sometimes showing up as your authentic self is not always pleasing to other people. You know what I mean? But who gives a fuck? It's yourself. Like, it's who you are. And I think that as much as Shake is annoying and is has so much internalized self-hatred and is in desperate need of a therapist, a broke clock is right twice a day. Isn't that what they say? Even though I'm trying to figure out how is a broke clock right twice a day. I
Not
can't.
only that, but I just need somebody to tell me, like, where throughout the process did Shake handle Deeply wrong?
Oh, they're
Nobody.
gonna give us some receipts,
No,
Chad.
no.
I'm sure.
But let's. Can we think about it? Like,
Well, I
we
didn't.
we
I don't.
watch we watch when they were together, right? And he showed up. He was putting in effort. He was going on a date. He was transparent with her about it. We talk about how much he said behind her back. He told her to her face he wasn't attracted to her. Did he not? He said it.
Yeah, but do you think that maybe he said? I think he said something about her body as well, and
When? I don't remember
was
that.
they kind of made reference to it in the reunion about how she had a little bit of extra. I don't even want to repeat
They
it.
said that he said other things that we didn't see.
Yeah, but they did
I'm
say
gonna talk about what I saw though. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
no, no,
I
no.
didn't see him dog her out. So
And I think that's enough, though. Let's be
yeah,
clear. I do think that it's enough to say he just didn't say the greatest things about you or whatever the case may be. But to your point, even when he was talking to other people, he said she's a great girl, whatever the case may be. I'm just not
I'm just not attracted. Nothing is wrong with
physically.
this.
I
Is
don't
but see,
know.
this is what
I
I
don't
was
know.
saying about when if some of y'all who watch the Married at First Sight videos that we do, this is what I was saying about the
Yeah.
people in Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
I say everybody is terrified to be truthful about the attraction part
Mm-hmm.
because they get 9 times out of 10 they're going to get killed either way. It doesn't matter if you
Exactly.
handle it right, if you handle it wrong. It's always 9 times out of 10, they're going to be labeled shallow. They're going to be labeled fake, a terrible
And he
person.
is
Da, 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 da.
shallow. His friends have kind of affirmed that.
But is he shallow if he got to the point at this point in his life where he said, even though I'm not attracted to this person, I'm still going to marry them? You see what I
But
mean?
I
Like
do.
we put this on people, and it's like Shake leaned into being the villain and being a dick after he got his feelings hurt, because Shake was 1,000% going to see that, because he even said his parents were in arranged marriage, and he believed in their marriage, and that's why he talked to his mom about his feelings about the attraction thing. And his parents got on it. His mom said, "Well, you need to show up for her," and da 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 da. He took that and ran with it. So I just think that we're getting, was Shake an asshole at the reunion? Absolutely. But we can't have this revisionist history of what actually happened in the show, because people talking about Shake like Shake was Alyssa from Married at First
And
Sight,
I don't
and
think
he
he was.
wasn't.
And I don't want to get. And that's the thing I really kind of want to get away from. Like, he's allowed to say he's not attracted to somebody.
Everybody should be allowed to do, as
Like,
long as you're not dogging a person out.
well, they
And
said he was.
no,
So,
no, 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 no. They said he was saying nasty things behind her back. They
well,
never said he treated her like a dog. That's what I'm, and she wouldn't say that.
well,
So I'm saying, Shake aside, as long as you're not dogging a person out, and you're showing up, and you're treating a person with respect, and you're seeing the process through, you should be able to be honest about the fact that you are not attracted to them, especially if you're willing to see the process through.
but you know what though? Talking about the process, overall, my real feelings about this is to act like a lot of these people are sitting up there holier than thou, acting
Yeah.
like, oh, the fact that you wanted to be on a different show, and no, 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 no. The realty is that if y'all were really doing Love Is Blind, it would be some big girls sitting up there, some big guys sitting up
Then
there.
we don't
So the
really see if
realty
is he
is that
blind or
y'all not
not.
producing this like it's supposed to be
Y'all
Love Is
not.
Blind. If we keeping it 1,000, so my thing is, why is it so far fetched? First of all, I talk to single bitches all the time, okay? And y'all are obsessed with looks. Like, I talk to single, and I literally tell them, I tell every single woman, just love who love you, and they be like, nah, bitch, I got to love the finest motherfucker in the room. He got to look like this and look like that. So my thing is, where do I believe there's a segment of the population who does not care much about looks? A very small segment, a
Yeah.
very, very small segment. And I don't believe these people who came on this show who work out outside of Ayana. Something about her gives me flower child. But the rest of y'all, like, you know what I mean? I think that y'all are absolutely here for looks. The reality is that Jared kept talking to Mallory because he knew exactly what she looked like in his mind. He knew that she was a Latina. He knew that she had, oh, I really wanted somebody who had big curly brown hair. Right? Because you had a preference, right? So let's stop
Everybody has
pretending
a preference.
like that's not a thing, and that people don't get taken aback when they see people they're not necessarily vibing with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just because she was able to get over it, okay, and
But this idea, but this idea that you are, we only keep this energy for the TV folks, right? This idea that you are
mm,
that you are shallow for not talking and dating somebody who you're not attracted to.
that's literally my
Name a
point.
person, not on a reality TV show,
Literally my point.
who's dated a person who they are not at all attracted to for an extended period of time. You can't name one.
Right.
You cannot name one.
Because all of us are
We are
kiddie
all,
pools.
but
Okay.
but all of us are give weight to attraction, and all of us want to be attracted to the person that we with. So we can't get on here and start talking about people on TV and how they so shallow and they shitty
I
people
can't.
because they don't want to be with a certain person, or they not attracted to a certain person. Like, we've all seen somebody and been like, that's not for me, and literally not talk to them just from the visual alone. Whether it's a picture, hey girl, you want to talk to my man? Da, 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 da. Whether it's a picture, or whether you see them across the room and then the lights in the club turn on and you like, oh,
Exactly.
never mind.
Y'all didn't give a fuck about. What's weird to me is that Shane was all up in arms, and I really have no issue with Shane. I don't care what y'all say. I stand for Shane. But
I don't
Shane
have no
was
issue with
all.
Shane. Why do people have an
I
issue
have
with
no
Shane?
idea. And Shane's a Taurus. Love that energy. But Shane was all. What did he do? He was like, talking about how like looks didn't matter and that was only a thing that Shake was worried about. When the reality is,
That's not
you were
true
the one in the booth asking bitches what they had on.
because you knew Shane. Let me tell
I
you
don't
something. And I told Zar
understand.
this.
I
I
don't
told Zar this. It
understand.
was part energy and part the voice. That's why I said they need to scramble the voices. Shane knew that Shayna was a looker. And so Shane will go into these booths and give her this club energy because he knew that that's what she was given visually, right? So he leaned into it. That's why they was talking about it on the show. And Vanessa said, I noticed that whenever you talked to Natalie, you talked very different than when you talked to Shayna. It was always about the clothes and always these sexy girl six vibes and all of that stuff, right? So
Girl
so
six.
he knew that that's what she was given. He knew that that was her vibe. You know what I mean? So I think like this idea that nobody else paid attention to, anybody's looks or anybody's.
It's
I mean,
bullshit.
it's not real.
It's
It's
just
just not
not
real.
real, and that's okay. But y'all not gonna really come at the bull like he's like so crazy and far fetched. Like you're not about to do that. So, like I won't allow it. Let's move on to Shayna. I almost said something really offensive. So Shayna talks to Kyle, and Kyle gives her the business. You would have thought Kyle never had a conversation with this bitch ever
He
after
cause
the, because he said
cause he
like,
really
"What
didn't.
is your problem? Like, what was your issue with me? Why would you even accept if you knew how you felt, whatever the case may be?" And I kind of agree. I just think that people can't accept loss.
Yeah. And in this case, people want to be on it. We saw it last season in the same show. The
Literally.
other girl, I don't remember her name, but she got dumped or something like that in the pod, and then immediately went to guy number two, who she was not at all into, just so she could stay on the show. And she didn't even make it throughout the whole show.
Which is like weird. And then she was like, "Well, I wouldn't have left when I did. If your girl, shut up. They told you we not filming you no more. You're not in a
Yeah,
relationship. Have a
you're a
good day.
lie. You're a
Have a good
lie.
day, sis. You know what I mean? You can come to these mixes like the rest of these people, but we won't see you some other time or whatever the case may be."
Yeah,
And I think it's like I just find her to be really conniving.
she messy.
Even when Natalie kind of like approached her about lying, because that's what she did, about what she said to Shane, like, "Oh, you told me that you went in there and you was just being supportive, bitch. You was putting in your bid.
Yep.
You there, y'all all like buddy buddy." The weirdest thing to me about this whole cast is everybody like cool, like Deepti all like, touching her, like they hugging and kissing each other. Neil Deepti is messing with Kyle. How I know this shit is fake is because if you was really banging with Kyle, if in any way you cared for Kyle anyway, her wanting to date him would be weird for you.
Right.
But you didn't give a fuck because the shit is fake. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, Shayna was just going to backpedal as much as she could.
child and pussy pop, she was
Um,
contorting herself into a pretzel
into
to lie,
into
to
a
tell
thousand pieces,
lies.
but she went so far as to say, excuse me, that Kyle was manipulative in giving her
His
his
mother's
mother's
ring.
ring.
If that ain't gaslighting,
Now, y'all want to talk about Shake. Y'all should give that same energy to Shayna
and that's not up
because
for
she's by
debate,
far the worst person on the show.
and that's the real tea. The
It
real
is
tea, y'all had all this energy for Shake when the worst person on here is what's her
Shayna.
name?
It's
Shayna.
Shayna by far.
And the reason why she's the worst person on here because at least Shake wasn't trying to blow up somebody else's relationship.
Right. Somebody else
Okay,
is married.
lying to another woman about her intentions,
Lying to
lying
everybody.
to everybody, then turning around and behind her back after they decide they getting married, going try to make a play at him
Yeah.
again.
Again.
You desperate, tired, raggedy, worn out ass whore. That is just to me like, and it's not even that I'm mad at her. Like I said, y'all know I don't mind a villain. I don't like. I'm a girl's girl. Oh, don't get. We're gonna get to Mallory. I'm a girl's girl, so for me, it's more like one. You laughing because she said I'm a guy's girl.
But but
We're gonna get to that whore later.
but I'm laughing that you just had like an interaction with yourself. Like You stop what you're saying, then you say, "Oh no, we're gonna get
I do that
decoration."
often.
Nobody.
Oh my God, in our house, we just start conversations. No
Okay.
context at all. I've trained Joe to do it. I was doing it first. And
Yeah.
now Joe does it where he'll just say something like, yeah, the roses are red. And I'm like, what do you mean? So
Yeah, baby.
that this is your little insight into how we communicate with one another. But I'm a girl's girl. I don't like when people, and I do believe in like self preservation. Oh, if we're not cool, whatever the case may be. And maybe that's where they were at the time, Natalie and Shayna, because they were vying for the same person's attention. But where I have the issue is that you couldn't even fake it for TV.
Yeah.
Like we was gonna see you be a conniving asshole.
Yeah.
And you didn't even want to fake it for TV. And that's just
She
like
was trying.
next level villain
Yeah,
shit.
she was
Like
trying, but it was a
she was
bad.
trying, but then you look desperate too.
Super desperate.
Cause he's like, nah, like I was proud of him, but that's here nor there. Cause he definitely got with her though. Let's
Yeah,
be
he did.
clear. They got
He got
together.
some stuff off his chest, Kyle, because I don't think they did talk much, and it got awkward. One of the true moments, it got awkward because she was agreeing with him, like, yeah, I was wrong, and then it was just silent because I guess he went in there like thinking it was about to be a
He was
fight,
about to he
and
was literally had a
she
better
was
in
just
his
like,
back.
yeah, you're right, I was wrong, and he was like, oh, okay.
Right. But she didn't want to say she was wrong at first. She was making excuses.
Yeah, yeah, she was stuck. I mean, it's nothing she could say. But nothing she could say. It's not. It's not. It was
I just
no. It was no
can't.
debating that. It was
At
not.
all. At all. And she's a tired human being. Tired. And y'all sitting up there hugging and kissing it. You know what? I'm just built differently. Like I'm
Yeah,
really one of those women. Like I'm really I don't want to say I'm a good girlfriend, but I'm a girlfriend that's like I just cannot not betray my girlfriends, but even do anything shady.
yeah,
Excuse me. I can't even do anything like that would make them feel a certain way
yeah,
or put them in an uncomfortable position or even any of that. I just think it's weird as hell. And then for them to be on the other side of 25, a lot of y'all look weird.
yeah.
So let's move on to Mallory and Sal. Nick over there lying and talking about Sal, you can sing. When. You the goddamn lying, the truth ain't in you.
He just Nick was just waiting for
Sal, shut the
Sal
fuck
to be
up.
like, you know what? It's just means so much coming from a great singer like you. Neither one of y'all great singers.
Period.
Neither one of y'all. I'm
No.
sorry.
Nicholas Shea can sing.
No, he's not a great
No,
singer.
Nick Lachey can
Nick Lachey is
sing.
not a great singer.
He's not a
Neither one of
great
y'all.
singer,
That's what
but
I'm saying.
he can sing.
He can
He can
sing.
sing better. You know who he can sing better than?
Who?
Justin Timberlake.
No, he
Look it
can't.
up. Pull the
No, he
receipts.
cannot.
Yes, he can.
Let's
Pull
not
the
do this,
receipts.
babe.
I'm telling you. First of all, Justin Timberlake wasn't even the greatest singer in his
Let's
group.
let's move
No,
on.
no, no. Because I don't even appreciate you doing this to Nick. Nick can sing.
I don't.
Period.
Nick is not.
And
Nick is not a
because you
great
got to think,
singer.
Nick came up.
He can't sing. You can sing also.
No,
Okay.
no. And I wouldn't even put myself.
Nick
No.
shouldn't put himself in a certain place. The point
Nick
is.
can sing
The
better than
point
Justin
is.
Timberlake. Justin Timberlake wasn't even
The
the best
the
singer in the
the
group, and
point
that's coming
is.
from the person who was a stand of NSYNC. So you can't tell me nothing about not near one of these boy bands, not NSYNC, not nobody in NSYNC, not nobody in 98 Degrees, not nobody in O Town, not nobody in Backstreet Boys, because I used to love all of them down. Okay. And I could, like, literally, Justin Timberlake isn't even the best singer in his group. And motherfucking Nick Lachey is a better singer than him. And I don't care what y'all say. Fight me. Okay.
I won't. The point was Nick was fishing for a compliment from Sal. And
Oh,
and
like
I
no,
and
you're
I
the
wasn't
better
yeah,
singer.
and I wasn't here for neither of them because I don't need to hear neither one of them sing.
You know what it is for me though? It's like I don't like, you know, I appreciate Sal's delusions, but it's a no for me. And what was very clear, what I didn't like is that one, I didn't feel like they were asking really good questions when it came to like what really went on because it kind of felt like everybody was being vague about their situation. Is it me?
Yeah, but I part of me like that because it's also real, right? Like I think this I like this reunion so much because it just felt
Unorganized.
no, it just felt like real conversation. In reality, if you grab six couples and you put them in a room right now, not everybody is going to be jumping to grab the mic to talk about the shit that's going on in their relationship.
That's true.
So I thought that that
That's
was
true.
real, even when they was talking to Shane. This is a different thing, but they was talking to Shane, and Shane just like couldn't speak.
Yeah, that child was going through a child.
That's real. That's a real reaction when you really going through some shit. You ain't even got the energy sometimes to be talking about it and going over it, right? And so I just thought like that was some real shit, like for people to kind of be stagnant in their conversation because they like don't really want to talk about it because they're really affected by it. That's how you know they're really affected by it. You know
Yeah,
what I
but it
mean?
also was giving boring because my thing is Sal sitting up there talking about I'm not gonna discuss everything we see. I'm not gonna discuss everything that
Now
we went through.
I hate
And it
that
just
because
was
it is
like
you did sign
you
up for
just
a
said
show.
it.
You did sign up
Yeah.
for a reality show. I mean, I get that part because like you said, like we said, it's real. It's a real reaction to be like, I don't want to I don't want to I don't want to relive it or I don't want to get into the weeds. That's a
Exactly.
real thing that real people say, but at the same time, most real people didn't sign up to be filmed by 6 cameras every day for
True.
6 weeks of their life. So you also signed up to be on this show. And so part of that is divulging what's happening and what's going on.
That's very, very, very true. And I just thought that, like, Sal said all these things and said absolutely nothing at all.
Yeah.
And let's go on to Mallory, whom I don't know if I want to like Mallory or am I surprised? I think I'm more surprised that I don't like Mallory. And
Why don't you like Mallory?
first of all, she's a guy's girl. If you ever a bitch in my life who say some stupid shit like that out their mouth, yeah, done so. No, because you know what that mean. You know what that tell me. You the type of bitch that'll fuck somebody, man. You the type of no, for real.
We
Because
got
if you
that.
look, because my thing is this, I'm a girl's girl. So anything that a girl may go through or whatever the case may be, I don't want to put a woman through that. So I don't do certain things for that to happen. Like, and it said a lot that this man is literally on a vacation with the woman that he chose to marry, and y'all flirting with one another.
Well, you know, I thought that was inappropriate as hell.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
When I hear the term guys girl, I just think tomboy. Like
no.
she said I like sports. I like going to football games and
Who the
basketball.
fuck don't? First of all, let's stop this as well. Guess what? There's a large sector of women who are not tomboys, whatever the fuck that means, who like going
No,
to
I
sporting
agree. I
events,
agree.
who like sports, who like hanging out with, man. I love
I was
masculine
just saying
energy.
that's what I think she was getting
No,
at when she
you
said
know
that.
what though? That's caping because for me, why aren't you a girl's girl then, ho? You got a sister that done took care of you all your life and all this shit like that. Another sister.
Well,
How are you not a girl's girl? How are
cause
you not?
cause some tomboys exist. That's the thing.
Tomboys
This is
exist
Mallory aside.
for as a social construct for us to make it okay for women to like men things. When the reality is women can just like things that men do as their own. It's not that men don't own it. You know what I mean? But we created that social construct so we can affirm our little girls who'd like to, you know what I mean, dress like little boys or whatever the case may be. When the reality is that that doesn't make you
What don't
any less of a little girl. You're not a tomboy because you want to do things that guys do. That doesn't make you a tomboy. That just makes you a person who wants to experience all things. That's what I'm saying. We're doubling down on this social construct. And first of all, that's number one. Number two, what kind of man want a girl who a tomboy? So you a guy's girl. Why would you want a woman who's a guy's girl?
I think we just talking about I think
Would you want a woman who hang out with men all the time? Want to do all the men things and all the stuff like that? No man wants that either.
I think we're just talking about various different kinds of people. And you can label it however you want to label it.
I'm not
I was
saying
just making a point that however you want to label it, because obviously you don't like the term tomboy.
it's
So
not
I'm
that I
saying
don't like the term. What I'm saying is that you do not have to you can be a woman who likes things that notoriously are what men like or something that men align with,
I
right?
think yeah, and I
And
think we
there's
just
no
trying to
issue with
I think
that.
we're some people like to
Label
people
things.
like labels because it makes it easier to
But when she
understand.
said
So I
I'm a
think
guy's
that's what I was
girl,
that's what I was just saying that's what I thought about.
but when I hear guy's girl, men don't have many good qualities. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, so my thing is, what part of that do you align with? The sports? The Like, what?
There's
Explain it
many
to
different.
me. Because also, to my point again, what man wants a girl who aligns only with guy things?
But I don't think that
How
that
is that
I
appealing?
don't think I don't think that
She
is.
said it for it to be appealing, Joe.
No, no, no. I'm saying I don't think that that is. We're kind of locking it in a box, right? Like these type of people don't only align with male driven things, right? I think it's like you said. It's just the social label that makes sense to people to go, oh, okay, like we get what you mean.
Okay,
That's
so
what I.
let's take guys out of it. Let's introduce another social construct. I'm a black person and I'm like, you know what? I'm just a white person's person. Do you know how stupid that fucking sounds?
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
a different social construct though. So we just went from, okay, let's remove gender and let's insert anything. I'm just a Spanish person's person. It's just weird as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? And my thing is, you're a grown ass
Yeah, that's
woman. Why would you even present that to a man as if that's something, as if femininity, as if what is your selling point is that you do and like shit that men like. So you a pick me because I'm just gonna like everything that you like because I'm a guy's girl. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think
You
you're
really
being a
want?
little harsh. I
No, I'm
think
not. I'm
okay.
not, and I'm telling you why I'm not. Because she sat in that woman's face. The woman was. This is how I know I'm right. The woman was across
I
the
wasn't
room.
necessarily talking about Mallory though when I say because I was just saying
Well,
like
I'm talking about Mallory.
right. I was saying in terms of because we started talking about the the connotation of a tomboy, and so I was just saying
I
like
think that's silly too. I think that girls can like whatever they want. If it's tow
right. I don't think
trucks
it means
and
that they
pipes
can't
and
though.
all that stuff. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the idea that we have to label it as something
I don't think we
when
have
it's
to.
just,
I
but
don't think we. I think that's just what people think of a certain thing when people hear it. I think
but
people
that's
it
not what
just
she said. You
summarizes it.
introduced tomboy. She never said tomboy. She said that
No,
she's
no,
a
no.
guy's guy. I
Right.
mean, guy's girl.
I said
There's two
tomboy because
different things.
I
Those are two
said
different
I
things.
said tomboys because my perception was that that's what she was getting at.
Fact that it's weird that you didn't read that as pick me energy, and you're a man who,
I know people who are tomboys,
but
and they're
that's
not
not what
pick
she,
me's.
but that, see, my thing is, I'm speaking to the words that she said out her mouth, not my assumption of her words,
Yeah,
just her words.
yeah, you were
I'm
rubbed the
speaking
wrong way
just
by guy's girl.
given the full and total picture. Okay, yeah, y'all first meeting and y'all are flirting with one another while
Right,
both of your spouses are
right. But
sitting.
I'm saying, going back to her actual language, I'm asking. You didn't like that she said the term guy's girl, right?
No, I don't like that it affirmed why I don't like her. My issue was is that one, you were flirting with this woman's fiance
Right,
from
which is
across the room.
everybody's issue, I think.
That's number one, right? But in doing that, you also had pick me energy by saying, oh, you know, because I'm a guy's girl or whatever the case may be, as if that was going to make you look any better to him during that time. She was selling herself. And if you don't see it that way, even when he asked, like, well, you know, how you feel about getting married? Well, you know, we ain't got to get married. She said that too in the same conversation. So for me, it's more about the energy that this person has. And I'm sure she's a wonderful human being. Don't get me fucked up. Because I don't think she's terrible. But I think that there's something to the fact that there are a sector of women who use I'm a guy's girl for pick me energy, period. Period. As if it's something wrong with aligning with the actual faction that you come from. Can you imagine a black person saying, I don't hang out with your blacks? I'm a white person. Like, that sounds so
Yeah,
wild
that's
to me. And if you're a
uh,
man and you hear a woman, what man wants a woman? And I'm certain there are a few men, y'all don't be out here tussling in the comments. But if we're being honest, and if you're a man who wants a woman, women are so dynamic that liking sports, I like sports, liking, trucks and cars. I love airplanes, right? But that doesn't take away from the fact that I am a woman and I would not align myself with anything else but being a woman. I don't need to be a guy's girl because I'm a girl. You know what I mean? Like, and I can like all these dynamic things and all of the things in the universe without it being something that I feel like I need to play towards you so you can like me more. You don't get that?
I think that we live in a society where people are intimidated by things that they can't understand, and I think in order to navigate that, we lean into certain labels, right? Like I always said, my mom always would do this thing where she would be trying to when I first started in music, she would be trying to pitch me to other musicians and other things, and she would write these things that I was saying, oh, he's a gospel musician, da 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 da, right? And I hated that term because I understood the connotation that came with that. But I understood that she was just trying her best to summarize where I came from. But I knew that if she said that, people would think, oh, he's just a church drummer. And so I would tell my mom, don't say that, mom, because I don't want people to think that that's all I do. Like if you know me as a musician, you know that I'm a very dynamic musician. I play a lot of different things. I'm doing I've been doing rock for the past couple of years. Before that, I was doing country, blah, blah, blah. So I think that that's what we're talking about here. Like people leaning into certain labels because they think that's what somebody else would understand. You
Right.
understand what I mean?
So that means that she was selling herself to him. There was no reason for you to have to say that. There was nothing for
Yeah,
him to, there was no reason for you to have to say that except for the fact that you have pick me energy. Pick me. Because why else? Because you just to what your point was. Your mother was saying that in a way to sell you, not sell, but to promote what you do to other people, right?
just because she didn't know any better. She didn't know any
But it
better ways. So to
exactly.
because in at least in American culture, most people only understand certain phrases. They only understand certain labels. So you have to
But that
dumb
was a
stuff
phrase.
down
The problem
to
is that
people.
that was in context. She's still trying to promote you to. That was a phrase she did not have to say.
Right. That's what I told
That's
her.
so no, not your mama.
Oh, like
Not your mama.
that's what I
I'm
told her.
but even that, right? You see how that's something that she did not have to say. The
Mhm.
same goes for Mallory.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree with that.
It's
Yeah.
giving pick me energy. And when women say that, and I don't care what y'all say in the comments, y'all can tussle with yourselves. If you are a woman and you don't align with not with what women should like, but align with women, period, you really need to reevaluate your life. Okay, you are a woman. Men do not like you better because you they say you a man's man or girl's girl, whatever you think you are. It's not like it's not high. And I thought that the whole time it was giving. First of all, she got pick me energy anyway, but the whole time it was giving that. And I'm saying all that to say is that when Sal left her, I was actually kind of happy, but I think they both were going to say no, and I think that they alluded to that. Vanessa kind of alluded to that in the conversation, like, well, you guys chose to separate or whatever the case may be, and they didn't even continue their relationship on after
Yeah,
the
at the
show.
end of the day, she wasn't really in the South, and
Period.
this was
Period.
doomed from the beginning because you could just kind of tell that she was trying to pull like a shake where he was like, I'm not really into her, but I'm gonna see it through. She was trying to pull one of those, but at the end of the day, you could just tell that like it just wasn't there.
And I'm gonna give her something though. She was acting her ass off, like she was pretending like she was kind of into it, but we saw through this, sis.
I mean,
And I don't
yeah,
think
she was, yeah, she was doing a good job.
she was pretending.
She
She
was
was doing
doing a
some
good job.
acting,
Yeah.
child. She was doing acting, but we all knew that, like, girl, this was not going to last. Y'all don't even look good together. Um, and that means something too. I don't care what nobody says. That means something too.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really ain't got no smoke. It kind of gives me also. I don't know if y'all kind of watched the reunion. She kind of had energy, like nobody kind of like was vibing with her either.
Who?
Mallory. And I felt not, and I know I don't went in on her, but like I said, I don't think she's a terrible person. It's just that I don't think she has like her energy is confused, is what I'm getting at. And I think that when she was sitting on the couch, it didn't seem like everybody was just like she was kind of like all the way on the corner, and then the girls was real close to each other.
I think that some of these people were embarrassed to the high heavens and they really didn't want to be there. I think
Mm,
Shay got left at the altar and he was
mm-hmm,
hella embarrassed by it.
mm-hmm.
I think Mallory got left at the altar and she was hella embarrassed by it too. And I think you can tell. And
Oh,
people respond to these things in different ways. Shake was way more, outlandish in his response, and Mallory to me was just kind of shrunk.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So I will talk about Danielle and whatever his name is, but they
Ain't nothing
ain't
to talk
give
about.
nothing. Ain't nothing to
They
talk about.
yeah they got married. They gonna stay together. What we
Same
figure.
with Ayana
They
and
also gonna stay
Jared.
together
They're gonna stay
and have a
together,
baby.
and and it's good to see. I'm actually very glad that they are together. I do think that they are a beautiful couple. I still got my eyes on Jared because I'm not, for some odd reason, I'm just not I don't know why I'm not sold. But you know what? It might be
Jared
the
gonna be
show. It really
fine.
might have nothing to do with them. It might be the premise of the show.
Yeah.
And but I want to talk about how Shane and Natalie, this is the last thing I want to end on. Me and Joe were talking about this, and Joe thinks that Natalie feels away because she fumbled the bag.
Then first of all, it's very clear, going back to the real shit, and
Mm-hmm.
it being a real reunion. It's very clear that Shane and Natalie are severely fucked up by this
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. They really feel this, and they are really feeling the brunt of their decisions. And both of them clearly regret their decisions. And I think Natalie regrets her decision and
Mm-hmm.
walking away, because I think it's evident to me that we was talking about this in the other video. You don't come into that person multiple times over in your life. Like, I don't know people who've just had, that love. They've met that person two, three, four times over. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You might be happily married, and maybe had another situation that you thought could have been the person or something like that, but it's not like multiple people, right? And I think that sometimes, even after that person is gone, like, damn,
Yeah,
right? Me
I
and
messed
Zar
up.
got a long history, story time, and anytime we wasn't talking or wasn't together, I could feel that it was a mistake. Like, in my gut, in my heart of hearts, I could have been moved on and in a whole nother relationship that was fine, and
That was
I could,
fine.
the relationship could have been fine, and I could still, in my gut, feel like, damn, like, this is probably a mistake, right? And I saw that, because I'm so familiar with those feelings. I saw that all over Natalie's face and all over Shane's face. And you could hear it in the silence, right? You could hear it in the silence. So to me, it told me that they regret this. And it also told me that a lot of y'all don't have the stomach for marriage. Because
And we spoke on that.
when they told me that the worst thing that Shane said to her was, "I hate you."
Yeah.
It told me you was never built for marriage any fucking way. So we could just move on from you.
You know what? And I was on my phone scrolling because I'm looking for a particular comment. Sasha, this one is for you. Neil, you left this comment under our Married at First Sight review. And you were speaking about how, growing up, being taught to be a certain way, like from a West African background and everything like that, that you learn to speak to your spouse a certain way, and you don't show up in a certain manner out of respect for your marriage and your home and everything like that, right? And I thought that you were spot on. Okay. However, I think that because she was speaking to what Elijah wants tone with Katina, and how that wasn't okay. So I want to kind of transfer that here with Shane. And the reason why I think that Natalie fumbled the bag, first of all, if he didn't put, and I don't want to say like, okay, putting his hands on you got to be the worst thing, because people can say things that'll really jack you up as well. Like, don't get it jacked up.
Yeah, it's just,
But
"I hate you" is not it.
also it doesn't take into context all the real world things that are going on around you guys. If you, most people, and y'all think about all the big times in your life and how you got into an argument right around the time, whether you got married, you had a prom, or you know what I mean, a baby shower, whatever the case may be. These big events bring out certain energy, and this is not to cape for shame, but to really give you guys perspective. Like, how is it that it's for better or worse and y'all don't accept any low free? Like, I get not accepting abuse, right? Like, don't get me wrong, but y'all not gonna get me to believe that he abused this woman
No, no,
because
no.
she wouldn't have went on a date with him after the fact.
Afterwards, no.
So that's number one, right? The second part of it is, and this is what I told Joe, if they had a fight the night before, she said no at the altar to embarrass him. Period.
It
That
was
was to
definitely
humble
some
him. It
retaliation
was
there.
it was some retaliation in that.
Yeah.
Because I would argue if all it took was one argument, you should have never got married in the first fucking place.
Yeah.
Because my thing is, we all as human beings are so flawed. We don't always present our best selves.
First of all, okay, that statement right there, especially if you look at the word marriage, right? Even if everybody has their own interpretation, whatever, we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
But for most people, we can say it's a long term commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people would say till death, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no way you're with any human being till death or till long time, and they don't have a bad day or an off day, or they don't go to a bad place. Like, there's no way it happens. There's no way you do life with anybody. And there's no point during your existence where they don't have a bad moment. We all have bad moments. We have bad days. We do
Period.
things we regret. We say things we regret, especially if we're doing this for life.
And if we do, and we also need to understand the closest does get the mostest. My mom used to
That's a
say that
fact, though.
when I was younger. The closest get the mostest, which just means that Joe gets all the sides of me. Like when I'm at work, right? I'm one way. I'm real clear about like, oh, I'm not gonna say this a certain way. I'm gonna move on, right? But Joe gets all of the other energy, all the energy that I possess, or whatever the case may be. He gets that. You know what I mean? Even in this just video, I got snarky. You know what I mean?
But
For
it's
no
and
reason.
we
If we're
both,
being honest,
yeah,
you know what I
and
mean?
I had to be like, what's happening? And
Exactly.
we had the same moment with me where I was dealing with some work stuff, and I got off the phone and I snapped. But it wasn't like
I don't even remember this.
it was some negotiations that I was going through, and because I couldn't snap at the people that I was negotiating with, I just snapped at her. It wasn't like I was snapping at her, but she was, like she said, she was
I
getting
got
the,
the brunt.
yeah, like I had to. That's who I vent to. So I got off the phone and I vented to the high heaven as much as I could. I screamed, I cried, and then we went to dinner. You know what I mean? And that wasn't an argument between her, but that's still a lot of energy to consume,
Yeah.
and that's still seeing somebody in at a tough moment. It's just, the point is that you're never going to do marriage with somebody. You're never going to do life with somebody if you can't handle them being at a low point.
And
Period.
you have to have this stuff. First of all, if you don't understand it, your spouse isn't defined by the moment. Because the problem is that she defined him by that moment.
Yeah, and that was it. That's the issue, because it got to be like, well, tomorrow is a new day and the sun is going to come up.
And that's what I think jacked him up too. Remember, he's a
Oh
Taurus.
yeah,
He
that had to
loves
jack him up.
longevity. Like the Tauruses like to be in
Because he was going to
relationships.
say, he was another one who was going to say yes.
And you got to think how it affected their families as well. Their mothers were talking on the phone daily after the
But
fact.
that's how you know they fucked up.
Y'all messed up.
Y'all
And
fucking, but she, Natalie, knows she fucked up.
but you know what? And a lot of and a lot of y'all, and I get it because we all independent women, so a lot of y'all not gonna get it. Like, oh, if he talk to me, he talk louder than me.
Well, a
We,
lot of y'all single saying shit like that. That's what it
I
is.
mean,
Because when you got that single energy, everything is believable. Like, oh, he looked
it's
at
the
me the wrong
truth.
way, I'm out. Oh, he raised his voice, I'm out.
Cause
Oh, he
I
left
know
the toilet
some.
seat up,
That's a
I'm out.
fact.
It's
That's a
like
fact.
y'all ain't taking nothing, but y'all also ain't got no man.
But you know what though, and you shouldn't be defined by that either. But I do think it's something to desiring certain things without, like, everybody want the good and not the bad, right? When the fact of the matter is, yeah, there are relationships where people are absolutely abusive and everything like that. But the majority of it is that 80% of your marriage you're perfectly happy. And then once a month, okay, you have, or once every quarter, once every 3 months, or whatever the case may be, you have a moment. You know what I mean? That messes you up, upsets you, whatever the case may be. But your spouse gets the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I also want to say this because everybody's been saying like he need too much affirmation and all this stuff like that.
That's not true. Natalie by her own admission is a very cold and not expressive person. By her
That's
own
number
admission.
one. Number two, imagine marrying somebody blind that you met by talking to them in a pod, okay, and getting married in 6 weeks. You don't think you would need affirmation?
I'm convinced some of y'all just hate men. The amount of reaction that would happen if the roles were reversed would be so different. Like imagine a man being cold and non-expressive to a woman and her saying, I need more from you. Nobody would say that was they would have an issue with it. No
Mm-hmm.
one on any show, in any Twitterverse, in any comments, Facebook comments, YouTube, nobody. It's just like I see these things all the time where people have such a hard time coming to grips with it because it's a man. Like y'all just think dudes is out here, robots out here, just Tesla bots.
You
Like
know,
it's just, but it also confirms why we have so many single people to sign up for these shows
yeah,
because
because
y'all
y'all
think
just
that
be grasping at straws.
yeah,
It's so
and
tired.
y'all think that this emotion is one way,
Yep.
the
Yep.
the needs are
Yep.
one way, everything is one way. What can he do for me? He ain't got no emotion. Nobody can tell me nothing. I'm this is
Or
what
he
this
too
is what I'm
emotional.
yeah, it's like y'all not ready to be with another person, another human being. But a lot of it is just like everybody is so shell shocked when they see real dynamic men. It's like, what do I
Yeah.
do with this?
Yeah. And I do think it's something too. Like I actually don't see any problem with him needing to know how she feels and everything like that. We don't know each other. So if I'm about
Of
to share my
course.
life with this human being, y'all don't think for 2 seconds I'm going to need constant affirmation, at least in the beginning, that I'm doing the right thing?
Who don't want some type of affirmation from their spouse?
Well, that will argue that he wanted more.
Who doesn't? He wasn't getting any.
How about that?
She
He was in
literally
a deficit.
literally he wasn't getting any. Who doesn't want some from their spouse? And I'm the least, that's not my love language. She can tell you. I'm the least like tell me I'm beautiful person, right? I need you to touch me and do other things for me. That tells me that but at the same time, it's also it makes me feel so good when I know that when my wife say, "Oh, I think he's so fine," da, 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 like, of course I want that. Of course I want to hear that every now and then. You know what I mean?
I do
I might
think
be
he's so
different from.
fine.
Well, thank you.
I
I might be
do.
different from Shane, where if somebody might need to hear it every week or every other week. It's
Hmm.
just nice. But my point is, that's not even my love language, and I feel like it would be weird if I never heard it.
Yeah.
So the idea that like, oh, he just need too much, or dude is needy if they like they want affection from their woman, they want like that's crazy because that's the way you lose them too. Because the straggle tooth John from the corner gonna smile at him and he gonna go running to the first thing that smile at him.
First of all, they gonna run whether they got legs or not, child. It ain't shit you could do about it. But they're gonna be in a wheelchair running over there to go get that bitch. But I do think that it's something to um us giving a little bit more grace to our spouse. And I felt like she did that prematurely. Unless more shit was going on that they not saying, which it didn't sound like it. It really sounded like it stemmed from this fight. So, with for all intents and purposes, everybody's saying that she dodged the bullet. I feel like he dodged the bullet because if you can't be with me, it's very clear that Shane is got some kind of neurological something going on, right? If you can't rock with me at my point where he probably was going through so much severe anxiety when we got married, I was so anxious I didn't even speak to nobody the whole fucking weekend. I was just like, they here, whatever. Like people like, are you excited? I'm like, we here, sis. Like we gonna get it done. So everybody handles things
Well, she was
differently.
high
Why would you tell people that?
because they needed to know that you were excited. You
I
were
was.
just
I don't
fucking high.
know.
What?
Anxiety shows up in so many different ways, and I think
Oh right, yeah.
also a lot of y'all be wanting all these normal ass people, and y'all be jacked up. Y'all, and the real tea is that he's obviously one of those people, and he said it himself. I do a lot. I'm overly dramatic sometimes, whatever the case may be. And this is not for him to cape, but I thought it was right for him to say the onus is not completely on me. I needed things from you. You were not providing.
Yeah, because Natalie was going Throw it on Shane.
And it upset, and she sure was gonna play the victim, and I didn't. And I'm glad he called that out. But
I am too.
that's the assimilation of white energy.
Yeah. Natalie was gonna get her white
Period.
woman tears in.
Period.
She was gonna get
And
them
you
in.
said something a while ago about being a daddy's girl and how I don't know. I can't remember what you said, but it was something to.
No, I think we was talking about mommy issues, and I said if you got
And then I
mommy
asked you
issues, a
about
red
daddy
flag. And I
issues.
said it's not really a thing because I know people with daddy issues, and their daddy was there.
Right.
You know?
And I think that she has a complex, and I do believe that she'll meet somebody who's nice to her and one. But I think the idea that y'all think y'all gonna get with people and they don't show their ass is so fascinating. Y'all raise kids who will show their ass on you. A human that came out of you, and you think in the world another human being won't like. It's
Y'all
just
kids are literally
weird.
fighting y'all.
Like,
On that
and
side,
y'all doing
not on this side, but on the other
but
side.
on this side too, a
Y'all
lot of
kids
y'all
are
kids
fighting
is
y'all,
bad as
cussing y'all
hell.
out. Fuck you, mom. Close the door.
So we're gonna act like that's not like real life. Like it's just fascinating to me. And I'm just like, you know what? I think he dodged a bullet. I mean, and not so much if he gonna go date Shayna raggedy ass.
He ain't gonna go date Shayna.
But I do think that
Men
he's off.
compartmentalize, and Shayna is a Friday night for him. You understand what I'm saying? Because he was giving Natalie the wifey
They really
energy
could have had something
because
great.
he can discern the difference between who's the wife and who's not, and it's very clear that Shayna is not a wife.
He just better have bust her upside her head, and I mean that respectfully. For us to be here talking about this BS, like, girl, so y'all don't even argue. Y'all don't even want to argue. Like, what kind of? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
like y'all not built for this, man.
I do not understand.
Y'all had a yelling match one time, and then it
One
was it.
to
Crushed
what
everybody.
you're saying. To what you're saying, it was one time.
Right.
He just better have thrown you out the window. Cause then, girl, we get it, child. It is trash, burning shit to the ground. But other than that, like it's like y'all weak in the knees. Stand up, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm tired of. First of all, that's forever gonna be my line for y'all, cause y'all really be weak in the knees, and it be stressing me the fuck out. Okay, so
for real.
At the end of this, we're definitely gonna watch the next show that they have. I don't know.
Ultimatum or something.
Oh, the Ultimatum. Which I think is a really good show, and I feel like
we'll see.
I gave Joe an ultimatum once. He didn't know it was an ultimatum, but he knew once I was done with that ass, it was an ultimatum.
I don't know what she
So if you have not already, so we're gonna watch it. We're gonna review that one too. We're also caught up on Ready to Love, so maybe we'll give you a little shank that ink of that too. But bust down. It's a mess. Subscribe to this channel, okay?
So there's some nice spots in there though.
Let us know what you guys think. Please, no holds barred. Tell us what you thought about this reunion, and get with us in the comments. Make sure you ask us some questions so we can film our Q&A. We're gonna we'll probably do one or two of those, and we'll see you beautiful mother numbers later. I gotta cook dinner.
I need to rest my voice since my wife doesn't care about it.
No, I do not. Love you guys. Bye.